But back to those tax cuts. Before the election, Labor leader Anthony Albanese was absolutely clear, vote for him and we would get these cuts.
You've told voters throughout the campaign that you are a man of your word. You've made a public commitment that you're going to deliver those stage 3 tax cuts. I asked you this afternoon then, alongside those tax cuts, can you give an assurance to recipients of those that you won't increase the Medicare levy or an NDIS levy increase where you would be giving with one hand and taking with the other?
Yes, I can, Kieran. We're committed to delivering what we said we would. And I've said on the stage 3 tax cuts that they've been legislated. People are entitled to operate on the basis of that certainty.
But Labor only voted for those tax cuts because it was worried that if it didn't, it'd lose the election. But now that it's won, at the very first excuse, it seems to be planning to drop them. And if it does, it will have stolen the election on a fake promise. Joining me is Sky News political editor Andrew Clennell. Andrew Clennell, thanks for your time. What is going on with these cuts? What is Labor up to here?
Well, they're looking at changing it. They're not looking at scrapping it. My best information is that Albanese doesn't really want to do it, but he feels he might have to, and that the Reserve Bank's kind of got an implicit threat in front of them that if they don't do something with the fiscal situation, including having these baked in, they'll just keep hiking rates. So Jim Chalmers keeps talking about the UK situation. People in government even say to me that's not like for like. They've got an energy crisis and much worse inflation there. But there is concern about the global situation. But the other side of the argument, as you know, Andrew, is these don't come in till July 2024. So why do you have to act on them now, even if you feel you have to act on them?
The other option, of course, is to cut their spending. I don't know why it has to be, oh, no, the tax cuts got to go. And the idea that, this thing that, the world has changed, what, in 4.5 months? The world has suddenly changed in 4.5 months that they couldn't see before the election?
I think, you've got a really good point there. I mean, certainly the Australian landscape hasn't changed that much at all. They had 5% inflation and it was rising at election time, and now it's around the 7% mark. So you could have predicted that. And we were heading towards $1 trillion in gross government debt at election time. And that's where we are now. So really the only thing they can point to is the fact that...
Where's he?
He doesn't want to do it, as I said, but my understanding is he's listening to the arguments and thinking about it. And he sees the great political risk in doing it, is my understanding. But at the same time, he sees if there isn't some strong action in terms of addressing the budget, and they go to the next election with even worse budgets, that's a political risk in itself, as it was put to me this morning. So that's the way they're looking at it as well. I think it's a big gamble if you do it, because I just think history shows us Australians are less forgiving of broken promises than at any time over the last 10 years. Julia Gillard and the carbon tax, Tony Abbott with his big cutting budget first up when he said there wouldn't be cuts. And there are plenty of examples at the state level. They do not like broken promises. And he was so unequivocal about it, Anthony Albanese. So,
of course.
If it's a tweak, it better be not too big a tweak. But if it's not too big a tweak, you don't get the revenue anyway.